But I want to build a world where, there's, hundreds of books where, and bring kids back to, and even adults back to, the traditional format again, like what I like with the traditional format, which it kind of doesn't die. Like I was the weirdest junior, senior in college. They called me, like my friends all called me the artiste, because I would basically be up in my room, nonstop working. I would pull all-nighters all the time. I literally basically used my entire senior year to build a brand. There was a void for a long time. And it was a very affordable place for artists to work. And I think that we're now seeing that which already existed. You're just seeing that we became an art city because people basically moved down to the areas where the void was. The artist filled that void. This is a common thing within large cities that are, had gone downhill, and then they get brought back up by artists.
Welcome back to Enterrupt KC, the Kansas City podcast. It's my boy JL. I'm your man D-Rod, man. What's going on, JL?
Man, the sky is getting dark really fast, man. Like, it's like 6 o'clock. It feels like midnight. It looks like midnight out there in Kansas City.
Right. Did you see yesterday? This will probably put a timestamp on what we're doing, where we're at.
The Northern Lights.
The Northern Lights, man.
I did not see that.
I did not see it either.
I didn't see it, man. I'm in bed, man.
Well, I'm way in bed, but man. So it's supposed to be going on tonight too.
Oh.
Yeah, but so I don't know, man. Audience probably peep game and seeing it out. You know what I'm saying, to talk about that. It's pretty cool, I guess, from being down here, so down south, to see that. But they said the only way to see it is if you pull out your camera. That something with the lens and the camera that it picks it up. I don't know. I'll be well asleep.
I don't know. Probably me too.
Yeah. What else is going on, man?
Man, you know what? We always want to tell people, make sure you click the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button. It's right there.
Man. You know what to do.
It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's not a monthly subscription or anything like that. It's just your way of showing support to the podcast on YouTube. Help us grow. And shout out to all the people listening on Apple, on Spotify, on any of those platforms, or watching us at your office in your computer, TV. I mean, man, we could see all that, man, in the background. So
we
appreciate all the support, man.
Yeah, and I just want to add again, man, again. I'm keep on saying this, okay? If you like what you see, tell somebody about it, man. You like the conversation we had last, when we had with Leo Prieto, man. If we had with Michael Di Pasquale, man, with DM Law. I mean, with this one that we're gonna have, tell somebody about it, man, because somebody probably is not in the know.
Yeah, for sure. But I think we should let our followers, supporters, man, subscribers, everybody know, and including our guests here tonight, know we actually kind of have a big announcement, man.
Yeah, man, it's pretty big time, man. I was kind of like it's surreal, you know what I'm saying? Just because. Yeah, well, go ahead, man. Let's bring it to it, man.
Well, we got an email last week, Friday. Probably the best email you can get on a Friday. I think one of the best as a business owner, particularly a new business owner, that we were nominated for and are one of the 2026 KC Chamber Rising Star businesses.
Wow.
So I mean, man, I don't know. That's a salute, D-Rod.
That's a salute, man. That's a salute.
Man, you got to salute.
You got to salute, man. That's part of the deal,
salute,
man. Right on, man.
Big deal, man.
So,
big deal.
And what's crazy about that, and I don't know, man. I don't know if and maybe there has been, but we're a podcast.
We are a podcast.
You know what I'm saying? We're a podcast, and we got selected. We got nominated. We got people been our fans, man, our watchers, our followers. It's been getting out there to all the right ears that are hearing it and
I just I just want to make sure we say thank you to whoever nominated us. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to everybody who follows us on socials. I mean, our family, man. Just thank you, man. Thank you to Jack, man. Nick early on, man. I mean, just so many people to thank, man, and that's only the beginning, man, D-Rod. So it's all up here from now, man, and I just look forward to it, man. It's a big thing. We're going to do an event on December 16th at the Chamber.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Chamber, by all means.
That's right, man. I got to get dressed up, man. I got to get dressed up, man. I think I'm still just going to wear a T-shirt, but maybe wear a jacket or something. You know what I'm saying? Still got to represent my tees, man.
And congratulations to all the other businesses who are 2026 KC Chamber Rising Star businesses, man. Seriously. Can't wait to meet you all, man. So with that, D-Rod, I think we need to jump right into this conversation.
Man, this is man, I'm excited.
Looking
about
at this man's art right here, man, we got some real talent we're about to talk through tonight.
Yeah.
So let's interrupt our guest.
Oh yeah.
And by interrupt, you already know we mean introduce our guest. None other D-Rod than the talent himself, Mr. Evan Brown.
What's up, Evan?
Up, Evan?
What's up?
What's
How
going
you doing,
on,
man? How we doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yep.
Bro.
Man, thank you for sitting down, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're here, man, at KC Mattress City. Can't forget that, man. Shout out our boy Hank Mascow. Okay, Hank, give me the perfect. I knew I was going to mess that up. Sorry, Hank.
That's kind of close to Mescala, man.
Come check out KC Mattress City, man. 401 North Rawhide Drive, Olathe, Kansas. Got to give him a shout. You can see our homie Evan's artwork right here in this space. But, Evan, all about you tonight, bro. Can't wait to get to know you, man. Connect the human to the art, man. People have seen your art, bro. Super talented, man. Super talented.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, what we like to do, man, is grab that origin of that human being, Evan, man. So, let's talk about young Evan, man. What young Evan? Where was he at? What was he doing? Where did he grow up?
I grew up in Stillwell, Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Which is just probably maybe 20 minutes southeast of where we're at right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And I kind of grew up just my parents ended up building a house out and like on some property. And so
brothers, sisters?
I have 2 brothers, 1 sister.
Okay.
2 brothers are all around the same age, within a year of each other. The sister is a lot younger.
Yeah.
She was the
She's probably about 9-10 years younger than my oldest brother. And so we all kind of had, growing up, we all kind of just had our own little like group of guys.
Hobbies
our own
stuff,
guy thing. I played sports growing all through high school. Didn't play any actual sports at Rockhurst.
Okay. Oh, you went to Rockhurst?
Yeah, I went to Rockhurst.
Nice, man.
But I played like baseball all through the summers, and then.
How was you, man? What'd you play?
I'm a shortstop.
Shortstop. Okay.
And actually, Hank, the owner of Mattress City, he played football at Rockhurst.
Yeah.
And I had pretty good hands. I just didn't have the time commitment.
Hank
for
looked
football.
like he could still,
that don't surprise me, man.
Hank looked like he could still throw them pads on right
man.
now.
Yes, he
Chiefs
could.
might want to come holler at Hank.
Hey, Hank is jacked.
He'd come out here, late to holler at our boy Hank, man.
But yeah, I remember there was one funny story about he and I were on the same gym class, and our high school football coach coached that gym class for like the juniors, seniors.
Yeah.
And there was a day we were out playing. It was like just touch football on the football field.
Right.
Henry, I call him Henry. That was his pre-adult name.
That was his government name.
Pre-adult name. But
that was the name for the girls.
yeah,
man.
but he came up to the coach in like middle of the the touch football game, and he's like, "Hey, you should watch Evan like catch these balls." And I still remember it to this day. He's laughing right now, and he was like trying to recruit me to.
You remember that?
We were in need for some receivers, and I was like, dude, no, it's not. It's not the time commitment's not there. But he and I really appreciate him doing this. He and I are really
for real.
Man.
Really good friends in high school. Then he's actually an Army Ranger, so he went off for quite a while, and then came back, started this place up. Just bought it from his dad or with his dad.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
then just he's carrying on the family legacy. He supported us. I wanted to support him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
man, I just want to give him a shout out, man. I strolled around here for a second, man, and what you've done with this store, man, hey, man, I applaud you, man. It looks pretty. It's pretty.
Yeah,
man,
he did all of
it's
this.
real. Yeah, It's nice.
It is nice.
Really, really nice. Our bathroom is nice.
Yeah.
Man, come on, man.
Yeah.
So, man, you played sports.
Yeah, I played sports.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
I always drew too.
I was gonna say. So, where'd the art come? I mean, like the art, was it early on? You was just doodling.
It kind of builds into my art style and the way that I do things nowadays. But growing up kind of in the country, like I said, they built a house out on some property. It was always my dad's dream to do that, and so. They got into Stillwell before Stillwell became a thing too, which is cool. So now it's really blowing up.
Yeah, it's kind of big now.
But I just grew up outside all the time. So I had my pellet gun. I was always in the woods. Get home from school, take my pellet gun out, and hang out in the woods for 4 or 5 hours, and get back and do homework.
Rabbits,
Some songbirds, unfortunately, but I still regret that to this day.
Man, we won't tell nobody that.
But I just spent so much time outside that I had a pretty big fixation with nature early on.
Um,
Was
you like introverted kid?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you noticed this while we were setting up, but I'm not too talkative either.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, you're going to drink some of that garage, man. We'll get it.
We'll get the tequila out and loosen you up, man.
But yeah, I was always pretty introverted.
Yeah.
I and it's been my kind of thing my whole life is I have a couple good friends.
Sure.
I was always friends with everybody, but I had a couple good friends, and that's kind of how I felt comfortable.
Did that like come from? I mean, you grew up with 3 other siblings.
Brothers, yeah.
Family.
I didn't really need it.
I was gonna say you didn't really need to get out there and be all energetic with everybody else. You're like, man, I go home and hang out with people.
Right. Exactly. And my older brother was just 1 year older, or 2 years old. He's 2 years older than me. My younger brother is a year, almost the same age as me. He's just a year younger than me. And so we kind of my older brother and I had our own kind of friendship, but then me and my younger brother were like the criminals together.
I feel that,
gave Stillwell its wild reputation.
Yeah, we were from grade school and early life, we were like the pester mom type of getting in trouble, and then in high school we were like the real getting in trouble. We kind of did it together. So
you said you were like drawing animals and stuff. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I just got really into nature and kind of the way that nature functions. And so as I get into kind of explaining my artwork, that kind of bleeds back through later on in life. Right. I was just really into spending time outside and kind of gathering. I don't know. It's just I always thought of nature as something kind of almost trippy or I was like, does anyone else see this?
I see it.
This is wild, right?
Man, I see that in your art, man. That's the first. Man, I have to admit, man. The first thing I thought when I went to your page was peeping you all out. It's been a while ago.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, man, it's like I see a
How many did you eat when you were a kid
man.
So that's the funny part about my style, and I can get into it a little bit later. But when I was in college, my favorite artists were all the artists that were in the 60s, 70s, those poster designers.
Man.
One of the biggest movies that hit me hard in college was the Yellow Submarine movie. It was the first animated music video. And I saw that, and I was like, well, dude, I don't want to do digital design. That was just the thing when I was in school, was digital design, digital art. And I was like, I want to go back to what these dudes were doing. And then if I ever not want to translate it into something digital or something visual, like a motion picture kind of thing.
Yeah.
I have the ability to, once I have kind of the concept or proof of concept set up. Yeah. And so I really wanted to kind of go all the way back to what they were doing, which is traditional, but then it goes way beyond that. And in terms of nature and drawing inspiration, I kind of started really finding the way that indigenous cultures draw from nature. And so it's funny you mentioned when I'm at art fairs, it's 90% of the people enjoy it.
Yeah. Sure.
They don't know why. 50% of them walk by and they're like, "Oh, that's trippy," and then the other 50% come in and ask me what interests them about it, or what interests me about
So
what am I doing, how I'm doing
let's go back a little bit, man. So because you're talking through a lot of good things, but I'm trying to understand where in your childhood, in your adolescence, where did you start really understanding, like, I like to draw?
Yep.
You know, I'm carrying around, like most artists, man, you're carrying around a pen, pencil, paper everywhere,
Sketch
right? Like, did that happen with you?
Yeah. I started kind of with, like, I really like taking photos, again, of nature, which is one thing I really enjoyed doing, and just doing different angles, different than what everybody else would do.
Right.
But then, like, I was always just one of those, like, creative kids, so play guitar, sing.
So you know how to play the guitar?
I do play the guitar and I sing as well.
Nice.
And then and it kind of crosses over. So like in my mind, all of those things kind of function the exact same way.
Gotcha.
And somebody else's mind, it might not, because they might not like tend towards drawing or whatever. But I kind of think of it as like a all-inclusive creative thing.
Right.
And so I was drawing a lot. I used to draw horses a lot. My family grew up when we were growing up. My dad is an identical twin, and so we were with his, and he had. So my dad has three sons, one daughter. They have. His identical twin has 4 daughters, and we all were around the same age. Everyone was either crossing age groups, or they were in the same class, or they were like 1 year away. And so we would go to this ranch with them every year up in Colorado. That was like our summer vacation. We would go to this ranch with them, and that's kind of where I built like this obsession with horses.
Okay.
And so I would basically spend a lot of my time.
What part of
drawing
Colorado?
Horses. It's south. So my dad and his brother ended up like going in on like a vacation house with each other in that area. But it's specifically because it's kind of tied to what they loved about it. But it's called Silverthorne, Colorado, which is like, if you think of all the ski towns, they all kind of surround this, like the Lake Dillon area, which is like kind of like the hub of where, the meeting point of all the major ski towns that you could think of. So each one is probably 20, 30 minutes away from that area.
Okay.
This is kind of like what you would consider like the country of that area.
Okay.
And then if you go like maybe 20 minutes further north, I believe it is, it's like the ranch land.
So that would be there would be a lot of things for you to draw there, being there in that area, right?
Yep.
You talk a little bit, and what I'm getting out of you, Evan, is what they call that creative process, right? And that's what I was going to ask you, because I was talking with this other artist guy I know, right, over the weekend, I think, or last weekend, and I was asking him about that. And I want to get your take on this too. That this creative process, is that something that you feel like you use all the time?
Yeah.
I mean, because the reason why I'm asking is because my homeboy was like, man, that's a thing, but it's not a thing.
Yeah.
That is like, once I start getting in it and start doing it, then it just goes.
Yeah.
Right? Is that something that's right?
Yeah, I'm going to be the weirdest artist to talk to, because I'm such a lone wolf in some of the ways that I think about certain things that I don't. So it's hard to explain. So some of it is like, some of it is like that I fit into the art world,
right?
But a lot of it is that I'm like very business minded with the art world, but I'm also extremely interested in like the roots or like the organic element. So I'm not wild into like the art theory, everything that everybody else talks about.
Yeah.
I don't really know many artists. I don't really engage with the community very much. I understand what we're talking about, like the creative process, but for me, it's like by me. Right. I don't know if that makes sense. So I don't even have to. It's kind of like
it makes perfect
sense. It's kind of just
man.
like it's just the way that I am.
Yeah.
And so I don't really have to lock into that. Yeah.
And everybody's different with that. Some do that and some don't. You know, I mean, you do and don't.
Yes, exactly. I have these like to the point where sometimes it almost sounds like counterintuitive, and I'll get people ask me those questions in my art fair booth, and then they'll be like, "Well, what are you just doing this for money?" It's like, no, I do it because I love it, but I also understand the way that it can be translated into, the same as when I was listening to business people talking about selling plumbing supplies. So I took the thing that I love, that with the inspiration that I love, and then I turned it into a marketable product, but the product doesn't dilute what I love.
Right.
It just basically pushes out into the world in a way that
it just adds.
Adds to it, and it allows it to kind of expand out further than this is something that I'm so desperately tied to that I'm never going to get rid of these pieces. I'm never going to, And so I get the creative process, but I don't really have to lock into anything like that. It's like how I think. Like if I'm driving down the road, I'm looking at the angles of certain things. I'm like, oh, how can I distort that so that it looks really wild, so that it would mess with people's eye?
Yeah.
But that's just how my thought works. It's not even like going into.
Have you done anything? I mean, with what your art that you do here, man, right? And that I've seen, and I think there's an artist called El Mac, right, and he has something where he does those kind of like translucent or those type of 3D type of deals, and it seems like with your artwork, bro, that can be very kind of, if you put on some 3D glasses,
yes,
bro, then it's kind of it's giving you that vibe.
Comes alive.
That's what that it'll come alive.
Yeah, it has that. It also is light reactive. So like in my art fair booths, I'll literally have color changing lights in my booth. Even
I've seen you down there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I'll like do it where it'll change color, and actually, all of the colors will like shift.
To something different.
So they like match, they all blend in right now, and they all kind of make up one large composition. Yeah. But then like when one color hits, say like a blue hits it, like it'll react with all the other colors. So like the yellows will sit back and the reds will sit back, but then the greens and the teals will start popping out, and then it changes, and then the reds will hit and the blues will completely fall away, and then the whites and so it has this weird element to where I didn't plan it, but it's kind of, and I can get into some of my actual art theory, because I kind of developed this art theory. Obviously it's so wild looking and so like chaotic looking, but it has this order to it, that I never planned. I literally just developed a way of blending. The way that I mix everything is out of the three colors. And so I kind of blend, and I kind of taught myself color theory so that I could break the rules. I also taught myself perspective so that I could break the rules. So did you ever study art? Yeah. So that's where I was going to get into a little bit, but I can kind of go back to the beginning if you want me to kind of walk you up
you're
through
fine,
that.
Man. I don't want to. I'm just curious. Did you ever study art? And then you said something really powerful. I think you said, "I love doing this."
Yes.
And
it's an obsession.
It's an obsession. You just hearing you talk about it, you can tell, right? I mean, seriously, listen, some people really like to do art. Some people love it. Some people are obsessed with it, So I guess if you can, where did you actually study? Did you study it in school, growing up, or did you? Yeah.
So, and just on your note, it's an obsession that I'm like trying to unravel every bit of it before I die. And so like I'm obsessed with, there's this like endless ability. Like I freehand all this, so I don't plan any of it. It just kind of flows out.
You don't draw it out?
And I don't plan the colors either. So Henry literally just told me, come in, draw whatever you want.
And you put this together.
And I don't plan the colors. So I basically come in with 3 cans of paint, like a pastel crayon type thing. And then I just start drawing it, and then I kind of puzzle everything together, and then I start placing things, and then I do the same process over again with the color. So you just asked me. So it is an obsession that I'm trying to unravel over the course of my life, and a variety of ways that I can get into, but I'm not tied to any specific element of it. It's like, for me, it's something that is unraveling out of me and being pushed out to people, whereas a lot of and this is no slight, a lot of the art world is almost about creating pieces that you love so that you can get exposure, so that you can then gain notoriety and grow within that world, and then slowly evolve to the top. And my thought is, I'll stay right here on the bottom the whole time, unravel it out of me, and just have it be planting into everybody else. So everyone else is getting stuff from it, and I'm not. I'm just obsessed with the process of getting it out.
Man.
But
it's super dope.
But
man.
I want to have the most affordable stuff at a high-end art fair, and then I'm going to lower my prices at a different art fair to make sure that everybody can still get the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to adapt the mural pricing to every client. I don't want to lose that
Right.
opportunity to get it out, not for myself, but just so that it's almost like planting little seeds all over. And so I probably have, because of that, my stuff but between the apparel, the murals, the paintings, the drawings, which I can get into how I started, and it probably I'm like 10,000 people's homes.
Wow.
For an affordable rate rather than trying to be, grow myself up, if that makes sense. And this is not, it almost sounds snobby saying that too, but it's, for me, it's not about growing my own brand. It's more about using the brand to help other people grow.
You know what that is, D-Rod.
Evan, man, come on.
You know what that is, Evan.
Man, that's a salute.
That's a salute, man. Salute. He looking at us like, what? Salute, man. Salute, man.
That's incredible, man. Yeah. Which, I mean, just the love that you have. And I love the part that where you saying that you don't care about having expensive prices for you. Want to everybody should and have a great piece of art at a reasonable price, right? And if you're going to give that to them, then here I am, and come and get it. Mm-hmm. The three colors that you use to create this, right?
Insane.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
Green.
But I don't use green because green's not a real color. Well, it's a mixed color, so it's not a primary color. So the three colors I use are all going to be based out of the earth-based colors, like the natural colors. So it's going to be red, yellow, blue. Red, yellow, blue. And you're going to see those. Those are the things that everything in nature is blended. So now we're going back, and this is what I was going to say. Is I'm going to bring you back to everything that I'm doing is supposed to mimic the function of nature. So even doing it physically on a wall instead of a vinyl wrap or something like that, I'm trying to basically, and if we want to get into it, like for me, it's and Tolkien is like my favorite writer. I love, like when I paint, I only listen to books. I don't really listen to music.
No music.
I used to listen to a lot of podcasts, but I'd just go through so many episodes, and I used to listen to a lot of business content, but now it's just books. Like last year, I think I listened to like 110 books while I'm working because I don't have anything else to do, and I don't need to talk to anybody. So Tolkien's one of my favorite writers, and it's because of the world building element and the fact that during his lifetime too, he also and Tolkien is the writer of Lord of the Rings series that everybody people don't know. Yeah, so like what people don't know about him is that he really like spent so many years developing that world and he built it from the ground up, but then he also didn't really get during his lifetime the recognition that he's getting now. And he was totally fine. He was totally fine with that. Yeah. And it wasn't that he was like a losing artist. It was like he was so obsessed with getting the product out to the people down the line that he wasn't going to settle for like, a half-done story. Yeah. And so one of his theories that I listen to or that I really like is this concept of, and like I was going to say, for me, the style to me, some people have their own way of interpreting it, but it's to be like a sub-creator of what God creates. Gotcha. And so he had this concept where he thought of all creatives as, people constantly in pursuit of recreating creation for the sake of like honoring the overarching creation, which is essentially all of nature, all of the things that you see in the natural world. And so I kind of carry that with me too, is that I really enjoy the concept of trying to be a sub-creator and basically taking not just, I like this one specific topic. If you were to look at all of my canvas paintings at art fairs, they're not going to look like Kansas City themed stuff most of the time. Right. There's going to be a lot of mountains, rivers, nature. And my whole thing is I want to show people that what I would consider creation, which some people would, everybody, it's subjective to people, but what I see through a new lens, so that they're getting it through my lens. And that's what he thought was so beautiful about creators, is that they're actually taking what people normally see on a day-to-day basis and then recreating it so that it adds to the creation instead of gleans from what you see.
I feel that, man. I don't know if you remember me. But this last art fair, I went into your booth you have.
What was it? The Prairie Village one or the Plaza?
No, on the Plaza.
Yeah, Plaza.
The Plaza. It was on the Plaza, right? And I went in there, and I did that exact same thing, man. Where I went in there, and because when it's something like this, I'm observing, and I stood in your booth and I looked at almost every single one of them. Probably don't remember because there's a shit ton of people going in there. There's a shit ton of people there, man.
But
period.
I did, when you walked in, I recognized your face.
Yeah.
I'm a face person, not so much of a name person.
Yeah.
But I mean, what you're saying is, I get that 100%, man. When you're listening to these books or whatever, has any of that, if you're drawn into that, has any of what you're hearing, you're like, let me get some of that and put some of what you're hearing, especially on a good book.
I would almost say that it builds up over time. So like I like exclusively, and some people hate this, but I exclusively love listening to like fiction, fantasy, sci-fi, world building, where people like I exclusively love listening to extremely long built out worlds. I enjoy like the short snippety kind of books, like the 4 to 10 hour books or whatever, but I love when it's like 55 hours. So this year I've listened to this one author who wrote a world that like the world in the book that I just finished is each book was like 55 hours, 8 books. Wow. So I've been listening to that for a while. Yeah. And then
at least 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that with the other books, like from last year, I was listening to a lot of shorter, like 10-hour, 15-hour books. Yeah. But this year, I was like diving deep into this dude's world, and then I find out halfway through that this character comes into this book, and it overlaps with this other world that he's built in another book series. That the two worlds are just two continents taking place in this one overarching world, and like that's the stuff that I like actually geek out about because I'm kind of and when I started, and I'll get to your question about the art, but when I started my brand in college, where I was studying illustration, first thing I wanted to do, didn't want to go do like ABC's kids books or whatever, this is how you dance. I really wanted to like build a lifelong world. So like from now till when I die, I would like to, and I've started my first book, but it's taken me a long time because I wanted to build the brand first. And so I have it illustrated and written. I just haven't painted the illustrations yet. Okay. And that's slowly evolving as I go because I'm getting smarter and smarter as I grow too. So the first one is kind of like my staple book that I really want to almost have people be able to draw back and attach to me and my journey. But I want to build a world where, there's, hundreds of books where, and bring kids back to, and even adults back to, the traditional format again, like what I like with the traditional format, which it kind of doesn't die.
Right.
As digital becomes more popular, people always trend back to traditional. And then there's these like cycles of this that happen. And so I would like to build like a world where, there could be a character from book 5 that you won't see again until it crosses with another character from book 60. So you're building a huge world.
I was going to say, it's like the Avengers. It never stops, man. It just keep like.
But I would like to create like.
Well, there's so much you can do with this.
Man. Yeah. And I would like it to like, and as you're looking at like maybe like this area, something can be walking through on one page on a landscape environment. And then all of a sudden the next page, it ends up in this weird portal world where all of a sudden it has to, it has to navigate through that.
So do these roads in your mind? Yeah. Do they connect to another world?
It's a grid work. It's how I kind of grid things out. So it's roads or rivers or certain things like that where that's how I freehand things as I create some sort of grid work. And again, it's the same as what you see if you were from, looking down on Earth from space, is you're going to see this grid work that then we all fit into. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
And then we mimicked it when we built cities as what I would call sub-creators by making even more straight roads and more. But I like going back to that original windy
Yeah,
flowing
I
path.
get that.
You know, when you pull out of the plane, or you're right off the runway, you're maybe like several hundred feet up, and you look down, and you're like, oh, that is so trippy.
And everything's connected, but it's got a...
Dude, I love sitting by the window for that reason.
And then your mind goes like, we look like ants.
Boy,
if you were, and
even
then
semi-trucks, even big units.
Yeah,
man.
and then the way that we move in those same patterns, and then you go, oh, okay, so we created that. We only see it from this angle. Right. But if you saw it from this angle, we would look like we're trying to create based off of creation.
I love it, man. I love it. I know you say that you read books, you get some of that inspiration, if you call it right, from some of those fiction and sci-fi. How about any of those like ancient history books?
I really like I used to listen to a lot more podcasts than I would. I love like beyond sci-fi. I like building sci-fi into my world. I don't know if it's real or not. I can't promise you.
And the reason I ask that because there's a book that I read, I don't know, a year ago or so. What audio read? I do the same thing, audio. Right? It's called Fingerprints of the Gods.
Yep, I know that book.
You know that one? Did you
I haven't listened to it, but I know it.
Bro, give that one a shot.
Okay.
Because what it does, it talks about the same thing, what you're doing, but it's all the landscapes and how it changed and how the world has changed throughout this 10,000 year process of things.
You're talking about the grid work of the pyramids and things like that.
Yeah, they talk about all that, man.
Yep.
The Grand Canyon, everything.
Yeah, that's my stuff. So that's when I was saying, and I'm getting back. I'm a circle back. I'm a circle back person, but getting back to when I started, that's kind of. I just blinked a little bit, but getting like. Oh yes, indigenous cultures. So when you're talking about that, you just circled all the way back forward to we're talking about indigenous cultures again, and so I think that. The thing that I'm trying to mimic through my style is you go to, let's see, I can literally list them all off. You go to South America, you go to Africa, you go to Asia, you go to Australia. This style isn't considered trippy. It's considered art, like normal art, right? Really? When you go to like Mexico or something, and there's just walls are full of color. Yeah. Here, it's the only area that I really notice that people like perceive it as trippy, and it's because of like the 60s, 70s kind of era.
We're Midwest, man. Don't knock us too hard. Man.
But when you go to those countries,
plus
it's really
the one
cool.
thing you got to remember, Evan, well, I'm not trying to make excuses for people, but I think that's part of like growing up where you grew up and how you grew up in Stillwell, Kansas, being out in nature and enjoying that most of all, versus like me. I'll use me for example. I'm an urban kid, man. Everywhere I went was straight. Sidewalks, roads, street lights. I mean, it's like mom and dad was like, you walk straight home. Okay, you don't go through the forest, or the yards. You know what I mean? So to me, like that's also too kind of what you're hearing when you hear people say, "Oh man, this is trippy."
Yeah, and I almost when I say that I almost mean like America in general.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I mean like there's this tie to like the like psychedelic revolution, during that period of time that people when they haven't and I would almost to your point when they haven't gone and seen like been immersed in it and what it looks like, what artwork looks like in a different country, their only perception of something like this is trippy.
Well, this reminds me of like, I mean, speaking of Mexican art, so if you've ever seen Mayan art or Aztec art, I mean, this is what it looks like. The curves, the windiness of it, a bunch of colors, I mean, when they recreate what it used to look like, you're like, man, I mean, there was like no straight lines.
Exactly. And that was kind of where I was going to say with indigenous culture. So my dad's side has Native American. And I spent like 2 years of the last couple, maybe 2 years ago, I spent like 2 years just like immersing myself and learning everything about the Native American cultures throughout America, for the last 500 years.
Are you Native American?
Yeah, my dad's side is, but my mom's side is European. Yeah. And so obviously diluted. But
we all are, bro.
But but I dove really heavily into not only the way that they did artwork, which is again very naturally based, very fluid and flowing because there were no angles, to your point. But I also dove a lot into adding that philosophy to my philosophy, and then the way that at least a lot of the tribes also accredited everything to a larger power that then disseminated this, and they were sub-creating based off of what they're seeing. So you didn't even see harsh angles because it's hard to rocks the only things with hard angles at that point, and so you don't see that many hard angles in there. And then there are certain tribes where it's really unique based on their environment. You do see hard angles because of the desert environments where there are cliff dwellings and certain things like that where they focus more on pottery with patterning and stuff like that. And so to your point, I really enjoy the concept of going back because they're each, if you go back into each specific culture, you'll notice that they drew from only from what they know or what they're aware of. And so we have the benefit now of being able to just go on our phone and dive through every one of those. And we're, I think almost, we have like a responsibility, at least for me, like we have a responsibility to almost bring that back to the forefront, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, man.
Kind of bring it back so that that doesn't get lost.
You're kind of honoring
continue.
it.
Yeah, honoring it by reviving it.
Yeah, have you been able to go down there to check out like any other countries?
I have been to Mexico City. I have been to Guatemala. And a lot of these are on mission trips.
Sure.
Yeah.
Guatemala.
Have you done any murals down there or anything?
No. No. I've been to Israel, which that gets into like you look at the artwork and different and like more westernized style culture. I mean, it's an Eastern country, but you look at like the more modernized cultures of those times, you'll still see like in the molding and the way that they do like the domes within the churches. They're still pulling from that same kind of concept. So even though it was more modern at that point, you're still kind of seeing that.
Your story is making me, we talked about him earlier, your story is making me think of Scribe.
Yeah, very cool.
Remember he went to Israel. He lived in Israel. His dad was a pastor basically.
Yeah. And I remember him talking about how
he talked about drawing fish and animals out there. So it's you guys got a real strong connection there, man. You said something about the art just flows out of you. You don't, we've talked to a number of artists now, Evan, and what they do. Not all of them, what I think a lot of them have done is they'll come in. If let's say Hank said, "Hey, come in and do a mural in my space," or anybody, they would come in and they would do
a projection,
or I forgot what they call it, man. Where they kind of do the stenciling, and then
the doodle grid,
the grid. Thank you, the doodle grid. Thank you, and then they kind of draw it on a pad, and then they put it up, right? You said your art comes out of you. You don't do any of that. So I just got to ask, man, where do you think that comes from?
Where do I think?
Yeah, where does it come from? I mean, it comes out of you, but where does that come from? God?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. That's my, everyone has their own interpretation of what that would be, but the flow people.
Well, give yours, man. I mean, it's okay. Give your interpretation. What do you think?
I think I've been given a responsibility to pay back what I was given, and by pushing it out to help others become more aware of this beautiful side of life that nobody sees anymore. If that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Makes a lot of sense. And some of us have never seen it.
Yeah, and I like I would say like the screens. It's we're so down on the screens that you don't really have your head up anymore, and so and now we all live in straight. I mean, we're out in Olathe right now, and there's straight line driving right behind us, and so now it's just really tough. And so I think that as the natural environment starts to, be cropped in on, it's important to, at the very least, I can't do anything about, the city expanding out and stuff, but I can bring the nature into the city,
right?
If that makes sense.
It does make sense, man.
And so, and I do a lot of Kansas City themed murals just because that's what a lot of people, when they see it the first time, then they're like, okay, we'll do. But I really would like to get into doing more murals with my, like what you saw in my art fair, like there's just wacky, like random shapes and patterns and things growing out of nothing. And I would like, that would be something I would like to evolve into. Because I would like to even bring more of that philosophy into the city than, just Kansas City themed stuff.
Right. Yeah. But you do have a couple murals already that you have painted in the city somewhere. Right?
Yes. Yeah. I have like about 55 public art projects, but I have probably like 45 murals around between Kansas, Missouri, kcmo, and then also like Missouri, the Missouri side as well as north. And then I have a couple in. I have one in Omaha, St. Louis. A couple in like Salina.
Okay.
So not. One of my things is I really try to stay like hyper local.
Sure.
For sure, man.
Because I really like, and whenever people have me write like the write up before, I always just I like to give back to the city that gave to me and that helped me.
Out of all those murals, man, is there one? I mean, I got to ask you that, man. Is there a special one or something that means a little bit more to you than? Where the way you're talking, they all come from your heart, and I get that, I know that. But is there something in any of them? I'm sure maybe more than one that has maybe a little bit more emotional value or something to you. Like maybe it meant something more to them, and you helped them out. Yeah,
that's then that's almost like you just picked up on a really interesting point, and that's actually what I almost treat every project like. It's not that I'm like helping them make money, or like at an art fair, somebody will come in and they'll just I can't not look at that painting. And I go, why? They go, why? And I'll go, because it was like for you. And it might not be for you to buy, like if you're not trying to buy it, but like because it was for you to see that day at that time to make you feel a little bit happier. And if that includes them following me and then just watching what I'm doing at all the times. So like when I'm doing it, it sounds like super conceited to say, but it's like almost like more mission oriented than it is. And I don't really ever say that.
That's not conceited at all, man.
Like
why would you think that?
Because it sounds like I'm posing.
No, man, that's beautiful.
But it's almost more mission oriented, where I think that I'm, like I said, it's flowing down through me to use the artwork to connect to people and make them feel more positive. A lot of times when people come into my art fair booths, they're not the happiest people, or they're confused on what's going on in their life, and they'll go, this just brought me like the joy I needed for the minute. I'm not gonna be the fanciest or prettiest person at an art fair. I can promise you it'll never happen. But my goal is to be the most playful, most universally like child and adult friendly as I can be, so that it
most affordable.
So my mission statement for my business, also most affordable at the higher end art fairs. At lower end ones, my price might not be look the most affordable, but I definitely am trying to keep what takes me 150 hours very reasonably priced.
Well, it just also seems like there's with like you said, if somebody's walking into your booth, right, and your space, and if you could tell that they're having a shitty day or something, right? Something about all these colors, JL, it transforms. And it's a vibe. Say it's a energy. Say whatever you want, but whatever that is, it changes some people just by seeing it. And those are the people that really appreciate art. Can understand that. I understand that 100%, brother. And those people that are having a shitty day, if all it takes is for them to get a rainbow print or painting or vision or illusion, whatever you want to say, to make them feel a little bit different or better, man. Yep. You're doing your thing.
Goal. And it's planting. Again, we'll go back to the planting the seed. It's like maybe that is what I would consider God. Some people, I'm totally fine with anybody having their own, but maybe that's what God was planting in their life at that time to give them a constant reminder every day that things can still be good or positive.
Yeah.
Even, the art world has a lot of dark art too. It's not, there's not. And so I just try and kind of strike that balance.
Right.
So that, you go through those booths and, there's some pretty art, there's some photography, and then you just walk by and you're like, oh, that's really, really weird, but it makes me feel good. And that's how it makes me feel. I have no tie to it in one way or another. It just makes me feel good too.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel like better that, and I always I even will before I do something, and I remember hearing someone talk about doing this a long time ago when I first started, but I always just ask every day, just let this go however it's supposed to happen and bring in front of me whoever's supposed to be coming in front of me.
Yeah.
And just work through me.
Yeah.
And that's where I say it sounds like I'm being conceited, but I'm really just kind of saying I'm not thinking about the artwork. So when I'm painting one of those paintings you saw in the booth, I'm going on in my studio wall, wallpapering the wall with 40 paintings, and I'm just drawing random crap. I have no idea what it's going to start with, no idea where it's going to end, but that thing somehow ends up in somebody's house and they like it. And I didn't pontificate on it one time. I just drew it out, just placed some colors in, did the outlines, and then off it went. And now it's in somebody else's house. And it hopefully, like I said, brings them joy each day.
So with yours, it's all brush, brush by hand.
Mm-hmm. And my wife also paints with me. So
your wife, she helps you out?
What's your wife's name?
Katie.
Shout out Katie, man.
Shout out Katie.
So she's also a digital artist and a DJ as well. So and she's working on music production.
Nice.
Yeah.
DJ Katie.
Yeah.
So Evan, man, so you got a piece of art right there in front of you, and I don't know if that's a good example to do this with, but I'm trying to in my head put together how you go about your process of creating. Right. I mean, you already said, look, man, it's kind of like, to put it in a hip hop terms, you're kind of like the Biggie Smalls of rap, because I just saw a clip and I sent it to D-Rod. He just heard the music and then they're like, are you ready? And he's like, yeah, come on, turn on the mic. And he just started rapping. He didn't write anything down or nothing. He just rapped. And the rest is history. That's kind of how I'm picturing what you're saying. It's almost like a freestyle.
Yes,
that is.
I was about to mention
it's
that.
Platinum. Yep. It's like a platinum freestyle.
Well, I was about to mention that it's when if I go back to that music crossing the barriers of creativity, it really just, to me, it's the same as when I pick up my guitar and I can do that same thing with that you're talking about with him, where I'm not. Maybe I need to sit and write the words.
Yeah.
But
thanks, Hank.
Thank you.
Maybe I need to sit there and write the words, but I do not need to sit there and plan out what the sounds on the guitar sound if that makes sense.
Right.
That just flows extremely fluidly, and so I started my business.
What year did you start?
20. Well, so I started let me just, I'll actually bring it back to where we were, and then I'll just go through college. So when I was in college, I was I went to school for graphic design and illustration and animation. And I really did not enjoy doing the animation side of things. It just, there's this disconnect when I get on a computer. It just doesn't click. There's too much, and it's not even technology. It just doesn't feel no, because I like digital. Like, I'll do digital sketches.
Sure.
If I have a client that needs a full colored rendering before, I can do that on my iPad. That's not a big deal. But there's just this disconnect of I don't feel as engaged. Like, and,
yes,
and
it don't seem like it's as personal.
Well, for some people it is, but
right.
the way that I tap into what I actually enjoy doing, there's this like threshold that if it hits that, like, oh, I'm slightly uncomfortable doing this, I don't just, I'll work it out and figure it out. It's like, nope, that's not part of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It just isn't part of what I do.
Yeah.
And so I ended up in college basically building my entire, college portfolio off of digitally or traditionally doing like pen drawings, like ballpoint pen drawings.
Which is hard.
Yeah, and they're like realistic, but also
talk about limited colors.
Well, and it wasn't in this style. So so this was always my style in my school and my notebooks in school. Like I would just doodle on So I would just doodle on the corners of my notebooks and I'll actually step back just a bit because it helps create context. So in high school, where Hank and I were classmates, I actually had a professor who was an English teacher, and we had a poetry class, and he was like, "All right, we're gonna do poetry, write whatever." And I just literally was like, blah, 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 blah. I wrote like 10 words, and he was like, "I love this poem." And I was like, dude, I literally did nothing. I literally wrote nothing. I just wrote like sky is purple, blue is green, like just random stuff. But he noticed through that, he was like, what I notice you do a lot and during class, and I know that you're actually paying attention more when you're doing this, is when you're doodling, you're actually listening to me more. And so I was a horrible student in high school and grade school. I was not very good at it. So he goes, I want to connect you with the art teacher. And so
this is at Rocker.
Yeah, at Rocker. So he connected me with the art teacher. The art teacher kind of took me under his wing, and the department ended up allowing me to like switch some of my electives around because he saw that I was like very interested, and he saw that I was technically pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I was doing like realism and certain things like that where it was pretty like noticeably decent realism. And so he actually vouched for me to switch out some of my electives, and I ended up taking like 9 art classes.
Wow.
In high school. And then he wrote me a recommendation for the design department at KU. And KU has a really decent graphic design program. So
you're KU, you rock shop?
Yep. And so so through that I ended up getting into the illustration and design school. And then I kind of already explained my unhappiness with the animation side of things. And so I did kind of a similar thing with my teachers where I was like, hey, you know what? I really like traditionally working on these illustrations. And I thought they were going to dislike that I had said that because that was the thing, was to do digital. And they were like, no way. You want to go back to like the old school way? And I was like,
some would appreciate that.
Yeah, they loved it.
Yeah.
Because that was what they did. Yeah. And that was what they still do because they don't even really enjoy doing the digital stuff, especially in the illustration department. And so I was doing editorial style stuff. And then this kind of gets into some of the mission stuff and some of the service stuff, is that I actually do like very much enjoy service, like working with the homeless community.
Sure.
When we go down to Mexico City, it's working with the homeless community down there, like the street kids down there. And then also the families that live in the Mexico City dump. And so there's actually those isolated families that live there and sort trash all day. Sure. And so we'll just go down. We're not like talking about religion or anything. We just bring chickens and hang out and just, eat and hang out. And so,
so you know Spanish, right?
No, I actually would draw a lot of pictures for people when I was down there, which is really cool because it's like a universal language. So, so I'll just bring my sketch pad around down there, and I'll be like, "Want a flower? Like a flora?" And they'll literally all just be like, "Yeah." And so I would just draw pictures and give out like original drawings to people down there. When I got my internship, so I was doing editorial style illustration, got my internship in Washington, D.C. I was designing and illustrating for what, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of these, but they're called like street papers. And so It's a newspaper that has, like, we have a small journalism team, the design team, and like an editorial staff. But then we had, we taught illustration and writing workshops to the homeless community in DC.
Yeah.
And then they would write the opinion articles and then illustrate the opinion articles based off of what they had learned through our workshops. And so through that, I realized that I really love the service side of things and treating the work like a service, but I could not stand editorial illustration. You could tell it was a dying industry. That probably not so much just because of the mission-oriented element behind it, and and then they would actually buy each newspaper for 25 cents a piece. All the homeless community that worked for us, and then they'd sell them on the street for $2 a piece. So we were creating almost like an entrepreneurial program out of them. And so during that internship, I decided I was just doodling a lot still in my books. And one day I was like, I'm just going to paint one of these. And so I sat every night for the rest of the first 2 weekends or 3 weekends. I went out with friends that I had met up there. And then the last, 3 months or 2 months I spent there, every night I got home, I would come back and I would take this style and I would start building, taking some of the training from like my illustration, like the perspective, the color theory, the elements that were really, essential to actually bridge doodling into like a world. Right. And I just basically filled, like, I got home and my mom was like, what
was it? What'd you paint first?
I just painted that one.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I was like, and I ended up painting like 5 or 6 doodles there, but I just literally filled like 10 sketchbooks with drawings. Wow. And I just like expanded this world out. I got back with like 150, 200 drawings or maybe even more, like 300. And I just built out this entire world in these like 10 sketchbooks. Wow. And then my mom looked at them and she was like, whoa, she's just cracking up because when you look at my sketchbook stuff, it's actually really funny. I have a lot of characters and stuff.
Piece to piece, they all come connect.
Yeah, and they'll crack you up, like, because I would be sitting there in my dorm room at night and I would just be like cracking up to myself drawing these things, because I'd be like, take a character that normally would have normal proportions, and I would just like draw. Did
your parents ever like, Evan, are you on drugs?
No, they weren't. They just knew. They just knew I was generally obsessed with what I did. Okay. And so I was also obsessed with like editorial stuff for a little bit. But then I just transitioned. I got back and I basically told my teachers my senior year, I was like, hey, I just want to show you guys what I've been doing. I would like to, if possible, get out of animation and transition my like kind of technically like minor into like painting. And so I started doing painting classes there, but I wasn't doing painting like what they wanted me to do. I was just taking
doing your own thing.
I was taking advantage of the space in the room. And so I would like fill an entire wall with like a mirror, like what would be the equivalent of one or two of these panels right here behind us, and I would just do some wacky like long painting, and all the professors would start coming in and being like, whoa, what is going on here? And I told my teachers, I was like, hey, I think I want to start this business based off of this brand. I have no idea where it's going. At the same time, I had started listening to a lot of motivational business content. Sure. That was where my podcast era began. Yeah. And then I basically kind of told them like, hey, I have my senior thesis year coming up. I would like to use the entire year to brand my business, and then use the senior show as an opportunity to start marketing my business. And so that's essentially how I got started. And so then I started posting those drawings.
So you were 22, 21,
21, maybe 20. Yeah, 21. And I would post those drawings on Instagram. Yeah. And I had started Instagram pretty early for like artwork. It wasn't as early as some people, but it was pretty early for artwork. And I would post those drawings every day. I ended up doing 2,500 of those.
Holy shit! And what's your IG handle, man, so people can see it?
It's at Doodle Dood Art. Dood is spelled DOOD, so it's this right back behind me. But I basically drew like those before I even started doing anything really.
Yeah.
And then I would basically go to, and sorry for the long-winded explanation. This just kind of wraps everything up really quick. But then I would start going down to like First Fridays and little like street vending shows, and I would sell them for $1. And so I basically started by taking those drawings. Model. Yeah. And so then I would come back the next day with the money, or the next week, month or whatever, with the money I'd made from there, and I would sell them for $5. And then I came back and I sold them for 10 and then 20 and then 30. And now you're at art fairs, and that same thing, the same size, I'm selling for like $100. Yeah. Wow. But it started from literally eating dirt and like.
So if you own a piece of art of Evan's
from Doodle, man,
from how long ago?
Somebody came up to me at one of my most recent art fairs and was like, I still have that drawing.
Is that right?
From First Fridays in 2017.
And I bought it for $1.
For $1, yeah.
Wow. Can I resell it to you?
Man, I buy about 20 of those dollar ones, man.
Yeah. Well, and then that's how I basically got started. So then from there, I got my first inquiry, my first mural inquiry, and that was Parlor. Okay. And then I did a couple for a building contractor or a building company. And then from there, it's literally
did they know how you worked? Like, did you, when you explained?
I drew them on site.
Oh, you drew them, okay.
On site, yeah.
Oh, got you, okay.
Yeah. How long will that take? I mean, I know it depends on the size and what it is and all that. All that comes into
something like that, if it was just black and white.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Well, no. Like the length of time. So there's always a time frame, right? There's always a deadline.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So was it somebody been like, man, look, we need this done in 2 weeks. Can you get it done?
Like the drawings?
Yeah.
I would do them in like 10 minutes. So I got
like a mural.
Yeah. You can get. It just depends. I mean, if we're traveling, we have to do them usually within the 2 weeks. But like, I got wicked fast with drawing to where like when I was starting to post them on Instagram, I was just starting at a certain point. As I started getting mural projects, I stopped even posting just the drawings and I started posting drawing videos because I was trying to show people like how fast these actually come together. And so like I could draw like a whole scene, something like this, in maybe like 3 to 5 minutes.
This right here? Mm-hmm. In black and white?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the color is where it takes time because you have to fill in and paint,
shadow,
and stuff. Yeah, but the drawings, I mean, you can go through still on my website right now. You can go through. I have a drawing section on my website, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there is like creatures, environments, designs, and you can just scroll endlessly through those.
Right. Now, is your website the same? Doodle Dood Art?
It's doodledood.com. Just .com. No, not art. Yeah,
right?
just doodledood.com.
Hey, man, everybody come check out my man.
And I also do apparel as well.
So you got merch. You got merch. You got that Chiefs.
This is just like the KC Kingdom one. And then I have, I just dropped the, it's actually your guys' brand colors too. Did you notice that when you saw the skyline?
I did.
It's like your colors too. But I have a
new.
new.
If you want to stick Enterrupt KC in any one of you,
yeah, for sure. EKC, man.
EKC.
Do you do Easter eggs on any?
We have like a handful of Easter eggs on this one. So we even have our like Rockhurst like retreat logo down there on the end over there.
I see the hawk right here too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, there's right by his store because this side focuses on Kansas City, the other side focuses on Kansas. And right below like his store, we have our little like Kairos cross from our school retreat.
My sons went to Miege.
Yeah. Oh, very cool.
My youngest is a senior at Miege.
That's where my dad went.
Sorry, Rockhurst. Hank, take it easy on me, all right?
But yeah, no, the painting, I don't even take pride in how fast it got. The drawings got. That's awesome. Just was like, it was like a basketball player where they're just practicing a lot. I felt like my whole goal at that time was to practice more than I had ever seen anyone practice drawing. And by doing that, immediately started getting inquiries because this was back when Instagram was still like pretty easy to kind of grow on. And I immediately started getting, people reaching out about projects. And to this day, like I've applied for a couple like mural projects.
Right.
I've applied for like the Parade of Hearts projects, but everything is word of mouth.
Have you gotten a Parade of Hearts?
I've done all 4. So I'm doing the 4th one right now.
Is that
nice,
right?
Man.
Yeah.
EKC.
But yeah, I mean, but outside of those, it's kind of like Hank, like his family put in the time. Mm-hmm. He picked it up. He picked up the torch and then turned it into something really beautiful.
Yeah, well, there's a quote. Man, I need to make sure I know who quoted this. It was one of the, I think it was an inventor, but he says something to the effect of, I think it was Benjamin Franklin, but he said, doing anything for 10,000 hours.
Yep, the 10,000 hour rule.
Yeah, 10,000 hours, you're basically a master after 10,000 hours. Yep. So when do you think you doodled for 10,000 hours? Because that's 5 years. If you work in a full-time job, 2,080 hours, that's
definitely
5 years.
Definitely the first 5 years. I mean, I'm not joking you. I didn't go out in college the last 2 years. I stayed home and built my brand. Like, I was the weirdest junior, senior in college. They called me, like, my friends all called me the artiste, because I would basically be up in my room, nonstop working. I would pull all-nighters all the time. I literally basically used my entire senior year to build a brand. I mean, I have photos where my whole floor in my room is just covered with all of my branding, like all the stuff that this was stuff where people were going to try and get jobs. And I was like, I'm going to build this. I had listened to so many people that had done this with kind of like what Hank's doing, like with a mattress or plumbing supplies. And I was like, well, why couldn't I do that with art?
How'd you pick the name?
Really easy for kids. It rolls off the tongue. It was very fitting for the black and white stuff, but now it basically identifies the entire way that I do my work, which is I just doodle it on and then I paint it. So I'd say it's more fine artish now, but it's still that doodle like motif. And then dude, I felt like it was relatable to people. Like it makes you not feel like Evan Brown. Like it's it's more like and that's not an artist name either, so I was like and I really like not being attached. So like art fairs is where you'll see me. I really like not being personally attached to what it is. I really like how, like, Dr. Seuss is one of my favorite illustrators.
I see some Dr. Seuss.
I love not the mystique for selfish reasons, but I love the inability for your ego to get tied up into it, or for as your brand does grow, for people to like. I don't want that celebrity element, if that makes sense. Not that it is like, it's really hard to become an art celebrity.
I believe
but
that, man.
I just like the idea of it just being a brand. Yeah, you see it all over, but you don't know where it's from or who it's from. I don't even show myself on Instagram hardly at all. It's always just the work.
Well, and I just want to add to that too, Jo. When I seen my man Evan down there on the plaza, bro, you was kind of tucked away behind the back, like I seen you. Right, I didn't even know you. This was before I even knew that we're going to be sitting here today. That's cool. But I seen you, and you was tucked back behind, like you was kind of like hiding, right?
But then I'll talk like this if someone engages me, but I don't want to be there.
Yeah, but you was kind of tucked back a little bit, and I'm like, all right. And I stood in there long enough to notice that you were just kind of behind the scenes, Yeah. With your art, right? With what you do, how. I know every piece that I'm looking at right here, it's all different. Yep. How hard is it to make sure that it's different? Because there's a lot of curves.
It's just the color. It's just a matter of to make sure it's visibly different to you. I drew the whole thing the same, so it's the color is where things split up.
Changes.
Yeah. To you. And that's one thing one of my obsessions in college was that each summer I would teach myself a separate skill set that college wasn't teaching us. So one summer I taught myself the entire the entire basics of what's it called? Perspective, but almost from more of an engineering side. So I was like doing books, and I was like doing these exercises in these books where I was like drawing the way the world works, if that makes sense. Physics, like more of like a physics-based perspective, and not so much like kind of like what an engineer has to know, so that they're not screwing up a building or. And so by doing that, I was able to teach myself how to it works, so that I could break the rule. And then color was the same thing. So I taught myself all of color theory for an entire summer, so that then I could take colors that normally aren't supposed to go together and are normally supposed to make your eye hurt. Like that is why and work them so that when that one's slightly close to this one, but not too close to this one, but not too close to this one, but not too close to this one, your eye still likes it, even though red and green aren't really colors that go together except for Christmas. I'm pulling these, or like to make that red and green fit better together, I'm adding a little bit of red into it to pull in, to pull your eye and make it more subtly okay with seeing that. So it's all about like basically
where you place all the colors,
and it's playing with your eye. But I was very fully aware that in design, I was learning how to manipulate your eye, and my goal was to do that in the most positive way possible, instead of
just like
to actually be.
When I walked by earlier before we started, I said strange, because you got a strange, music right there, right?
Yep.
And you have the shield right there, right next to it, so you can see all that, but that shield pops out because it got that white, that blue,
exactly,
that gold, you know.
You have to have white. You have to have white somewhere in there, or else what happens is your eye starts to not be able to settle on anything.
Man, that's incredible that you're able you think about that.
How did you pick the 3 colors? When did you do?
So
those?
I mix I mix everything just out of the primaries, just because that's how in art.
Okay.
That's like, so we're going back to.
But I mean, when I look at like this mural, and then I look at what's in front of you there, it's the same colors.
Yep. That's kind of my skyline approach.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the blues. The blue makes it not sellable monetarily, but like it sells the concept to you of that's a space. Does that make sense? So the sky, it feels like the sky.
Right.
The green, it feels like you're grounded on the grass. And then the way that I do the buildings, that's just to make it so that it doesn't become like a huge eyesore. So I kind of have like that grounding, kind of like grayish, like slate gray.
Yeah.
But I do that. That's kind of the way that I do the skyline, because it's almost become like a motif, kind of like how Charlie Hustle has like the heart shirt, and then they do like, I just do different variations of that. So I'm like, for this, I'm on like skyline number 15 paintings for art fairs. So I don't do the same skyline ever once.
These are all originals.
This is a print.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
So these are limited edition prints. So like on my website, I sell, and I have like 100 paintings to add to my website, or 100 prints. But like I have probably like 50 to add left now. I have like 100 prints on there, but all my prints on my website in the limited category come with the black mat. They come signed, numbered, and then once I hit 200 of that design, I discontinue so that it kind of retains, like, that's my, again, going back to the keeping it affordable.
Yeah.
It's like, this is $59, I think like $59.
Sure.
I got like $10 just to get it matted, so that you don't have to even go to the frame store and get a custom frame. And so it's that's a labor of love. I print all of those myself.
Oh, okay.
And then, but then I have for like really quick shows, I'll do just like open edition piece of paper kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I've ever noticed or seen anybody that does your style like this. You know, have you, Joe?
I haven't, not specifically. No, like that.
I mean, nobody comes to mind.
Remember,
there's similar approaches. Like there's that street art kind of vibe, but it's because it's literally me put on a page.
Yeah.
It's my interests put on a page. So like when I do like workshops for like kids, or I talk to students, I always. And that's a part of my business that I don't think we've touched on, is that my mission statement is for the child and everyone. And so it's, makes you happy when you stand in the booth, but also like I have all of my small work and creatures hanging really low in my booth so that kids have a little gallery to walk through.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen anyone think of doing stuff like that at art fairs where they're making it for kids.
Yeah.
And so when I'm doing stuff with kids, like two of my things are, one of the things is making sure that they have the ability to not, so when you start drawing, when I give you a pen and a paper, what do you start drawing? You just start.
Ooh.
You started. Yep, you did
My
it
name,
already. You
my
did
name.
exactly.
Start thinking,
You did
yeah.
exactly what everybody does. They overthink it.
Yeah.
And then your mind goes, I have to draw like a tree or a building or a person or and you're overthinking it. And so what I always do with kids is I always like, okay, I'll draw a shape for you, and I just want you to turn it into a creature.
Around it.
I want you to make it a creature.
Right.
And so I'll just take like this random, like I'll just do
Squiggly
like a
something.
random squiggly something shape.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, now watch how I do this. And I'll just put teeth on there, put eyes on there, and all of a sudden and then it's the same for the kids. So
We should have a drawing contest right now.
yeah. And so
No,
so
we don't.
it's-
I don't want to have a drawing contest. Whatever.
I do it. Your boy used to mess around a little bit, man. I got a little bit. I think that's the reason why I'm such a fan of art in general, man. Because I love to doodle. I love to paint. I love to do all that as well, man.
It's an interest that you can teach anybody as long as they're willing to break outside of the idea that they might not be the best ever at it. It's kind of like sports.
Yeah. I said this before, man. I'm going to say it again just to give a shout out to my daughter, Mia. Mia got grounded, man. She got grounded. She in high school for like a week, and she stayed in a room, and we found out that Mia could draw.
Yep.
She was in there, and she drew these portraits of my grandbaby, and it was immaculate.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, what you're saying, about the youth, about kids, and showing them and teaching them.
Yeah.
You got a workshop.
Yep.
How if do you take like?
I don't do any. I just do volunteer stuff. So like if I'm doing, if a grade school, like I've done a mural for a grade school, and then they had me come and talk to each grade
gotcha.
like bracket or age bracket,
Yeah.
and I have to cater to the way that I talk to that age bracket differently than the next one.
I think COVID produced a lot of young artists.
It did. It produced a lot of business people too.
A lot of business people, and I'm not just talking about obviously drawing art and stuff.
Yep.
But like, I'm thinking of like my son Adriano. He trapped in his room, couldn't go to school, this and that, and all of a sudden he's like, I want to make music, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
And I bought him a beat machine and stuff to make music, and I'm like, oh
he
my
puts
God,
it down, man.
I
Shout out
didn't
Adriano,
know
man.
that he. I didn't know he knows how to do this.
A little bit of time. This is what happened with me when I was in DC. A little bit of time locked away, that could turn anybody into a tradesperson.
Yeah.
They just have to, and that's what I always tell people is like, okay, circling back to the question about the style. I always tell the kids, okay, like I'm talking about the drawing, the doodle thing or whatever. I'll go, what do you think that is? And one kid will say, it looks like a squid. And so they'll draw a squid. But one kid will go, that looks like a princess. And they'll draw a princess. Right. And so they have their own interpretation. So what I do, and it's based on their interests.
Yeah.
And so when I'm talking about style development, and this is one thing I almost started kind of becoming with my professors in college, I almost started like workshopping while we were in class. Like I was kind of starting to bring business content to them.
Yeah.
And to this day I'm friends with them. Like we'll meet up and hang out and just talk like art. But one of the people on a podcast that I had listened to, and this crosses all borders of creativity, had talked about was the concept of building like a creative family tree. I'm going to open this real quick. Yeah. So building a creative family tree. So you're at the top, right?
Yeah.
And from that top stems, maybe 3 or 4 core interests. Like, what are your core interests? Sure. And then from those core interests, there's like side interests. But then from all of your interests, there stems somebody that inspired you or somebody that you look up to for a certain reason.
Right.
And then from them, there's a whole chain tree, and then from the next person there's a whole tree, and the next say you're, and I can get it back into how I like Tolkien, and Tolkien is built into my work, and Tolkien is a writer. He also was a really good illustrator, but he was a writer that built worlds. And so the podcaster was talking about the concept of, okay, choose your top 5 interests or whatever. Recognize that if you try to compete with them in their game, you're just going to be the second best version of them. Like if you try to mimic that person, you will always just be the second. There's 2 things. You'll either be the second best version, or they'll hate you because you're trying to copy them, right? And so or you become like their market competitor. And so
that exists in the podcast world too.
It does. I think this is not an art person. This was a business podcast and a creative podcast. And so he goes, you know what you should do is you should start looking 5, 10 categories deep into the people who inspired the people who inspired the people who inspired you, so that you're not looking at the person that inspired you, and you're not essentially like grifting and stealing off of what inspired you. So you don't look like you don't look like their anime. Right. You want to look at what like the anime artist from 75 years ago or 100 years ago was doing, and that was their inspiration. And their inspiration, I promise you, they didn't just copy that person. And so the further you build out that family tree, the more diverse and your style becomes. And so like I really like books, I really like tattoo art, I really like old school illustration like Tom and Jerry, or animation like Tom and Jerry, like but I really like new like trippy animation like Adventure Time type stuff. I don't watch it, but I like the style of it. I really like the 60s 70s poster designers. I like Dr. Seuss. I like there are certain Kansas City artists that I really like. Like Charlie Podgerberg is a very cool artist that I used to look at.
What does he do, like Cowtown? No,
yeah, he does Cowtown, but he's been doing the art fairs for a long time. Right. And through Parade of Hearts, me and him have become friends. And the cool thing is you can put our hearts side by side. I don't look like I'm ripping off of him, but people will literally say, you guys look like you have like the same approach style, to doing stuff, but he has more of like that cartoony. Like,
I was gonna say, but you don't have no characters in yours. He has characters.
Not in these, but I have my characters look nothing like his characters either. His are more like he was a newspaper artist, and so, but what they're seeing is the buildings, and they're going, oh, the buildings, okay, cool, and then the color, and so it literally is different because it's me. Like there is no other me, and there's no other you, and there's no other like you guys have a unique podcast. You're very laid back, but you're also very engaged in what you're talking about. You're not checking a box,
Well, we got you talking.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey man, Mr. Introvert over here. Look at him.
I told you.
We got him out of his box,
it's
man.
The garages.
Proud of us, Hank. Proud of us. We got
definitely
him.
not. I told you it's an obsession. Like the minute you get me talking about it, I'll explain the theory. It unravels.
No, it's perfect, man. I don't.
It, man. But if I'm at a party or a family party and no one asks a question, I'm not gonna talk about it.
Well, this is your passion, bro. This is your passion. This is your life. This is this is your livelihood. It's your brand. You know what I'm saying? So of course, man, Kansas City, man, and we've been fortunate to talk to many, right, that are on this. We got Itro, we got Psych, we got Gear, we got Scribe, we got now we got you. What do you think?
Dink.
What do you think, man? Shout out them all, man. Kansas City, man. We have a ton of artists.
Yep.
Including yourself. What do you think it is about this Kansas City, man, that we produce such great artists?
I just think that the city in general, there was like a void
for so long,
for a long time, and the art, like the physical city. There was a void for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a very affordable place for artists to work. And I think that we're now seeing that which already existed. You're just seeing that we became an art city because people basically moved down to the areas where the void was.
Right.
The artist filled that void. This is a common thing within large cities that are, had gone downhill, and then they get brought back up by artists. The void was filled by artists because it was cheap. Then people started to realize that it was trendy to be in that cheap area, and then that cheap area didn't become so cheap, but the foundation of that area maintained the artistry. Yeah, it maintained the artistry, and so now you can't even live in the Crossroads as an artist, but it's still heavily art centric. Not even the gallery. There's no galleries down there anymore.
I know, man.
But
First Fridays was art walks.
It was booming. Like
that was
when
like
I was
where
doing
you went
first,
to see art.
When I started there, it was like 20,000 people down there. It was so busy. But now it's just like the alleyway thing.
Yeah.
And, it's pretty quiet. But that's kind of my theory, is that basically people follow the artist, and that's not my, I'm picking up off what many people have said, but people follow the artist, and then the art becomes the foundation of that environment, and then people don't want to lose the art. So their way of, giving back to the art, the founders of that area, is to basically fill the area. And then what we're seeing is those people that were already always there, seeing a job opportunity, or seeing the market value or market share in an area that used to not have the market share because nobody was in the market down there. And so we almost brought it full circle back to where people are hiring us down there. We can't necessarily have studios down there, all of us. But people are hiring us to go back down there because it's trendy and cool to have art.
A lot of commission going on.
But you're right, man. I mean, we've talked about this, it's kind of D-Rod's point with a number of artists. I mean, Gear, shout out our boy Gear, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when we was coming up, man, in urban core Kansas City, his name was everywhere because there was no murals down there. I mean, there was maybe one. Yeah. There was the old the guy dunking the basketball, D-Rod. I remember that.
Yeah. UMKC.
Yeah, UMKC. But there was really no murals like the ones that you have and others now. But there was graffiti.
Yep.
Because the artists are going to come out.
Right.
They're going to come out and paint. And so, to your point, now as time has gone on, particularly since let's say 2008, 9, 10, somewhere in there, Crossroads, West Bottoms, all downtown, of course, all these Westport, all these places have really, even Strawberry Hill, Kansas City, Kansas. They've really started to evolve and mature as like, hey, we're not just little communities that you just drive through. Like you can come in and hang out now. There's restaurants there. There's businesses there.
People travel to them.
People travel to them. They're destination places now, right? So why not incorporate some murals?
Exactly.
I mean, seeing your murals out and about town. ITRA, man. I remember when we talked to them, they have these huge.
Oh, they're really cool.
Yeah, huge murals out in Kansas City. Yep. And so many others. I mean, Scribes Love Kansas City mural is so like classic, So you take all that and you're like, wow, man. Thinking on it, you're like, this was never like this. Ever. And so it makes us proud as Kansas Cityans to see this. And I'll say, man, You talked about how, like, early on with Instagram, you grew really fast. But that's why we wanted to reach out to you, because it was like seeing your art. Shout out to you for following us, by the way, on IG. Yeah. That helped. But seeing your art, it was like, wow, this is unique. This is a story we've got to grab somehow, some way from this guy, because it just was truly, truly unique style, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I honestly don't. I never considered myself a mural artist, if that makes sense. Like I really I do now. Obviously, it's a nice title to attach to what I'm doing. But I even almost just thought of myself as I was going to become a painter, and then the first canvas I got was the freaking corduroy brick wall and parlor the first. So I was like in and out of these like grooves on this roll. And so I was like, I guess I can do this, but it sucks. And then I got a drywall mural, and I was like, oh, sweet. Okay. But I had never thought of myself as doing the murals. So like when I was starting, I wanted to immediately jump into just being like a big gallery, a mural style gallery painter, but it was out of a lack of knowledge of the industry for murals. Because when I was listening to business people, I wasn't listening to like art podcasts or which are now existing now. It's like mural podcasts and stuff. So the people I was listening to were like, again, I'll say like plumbing supply people and people talking about selling very mundane things. And so I was like, okay, well, I could just make a canvas. I could flip canvases, and I can make way more than like $2 margins on a canvas or something. But then got into murals, and then I realized there's this whole like network of people, and all the people you just mentioned. I don't know gear, but most of the other people you just mentioned, I've had some sort of encounter with at some point.
Well, Kansas City's not that big, bro.
No, it's not.
You're going to bump into these people.
But it has, as you can see, like I still do the art fairs specifically because that's what I would hope to traject into, not to move away from the murals, but to expand into the general public more, if that makes sense. So like the murals for me get really business. They're very business centric. I've done some residential murals. She did a really cool residential mural in West Plaza for like a modern home, and it looks really cool in that environment. And so like I still would love to kind of transition some of that stuff into, canvas paintings for people to put in their homes. But this is just, it's a really nice way to basically give back to the city, be part of the city, be visible. And like,
have you had any exhibits with it? Because you said
just
about how you have so many that you have.
The black and white stuff. Yeah, I haven't. It was just black and white stuff.
I vision you in a gallery of them.
That would be my goal.
Hey man,
proof of concept right
now. We know people, brother. We know people.
I'm building
and have it all around.
Shout out Vanya, man.
Vanya, man.
We need to connect you with Vanya, man.
Down in West Bottoms. Soto? She owns Moss, man.
Oh, okay.
Monarcha Art Studios.
Space. Okay, cool.
Space?
Yeah, Monarcha Art Space.
Yeah, man. And she has artists come in there, and she has exhibits going on, man.
That's kind of you mentioned the drawings. That would be kind of like, so in my mind right now, I'm on a very, very focused on a color thing. Like I really want to be known for the color, because there's people like have you ever seen the Mr. Doodle guy on like Instagram? He does like doodles his house and does all this stuff, and I want to avoid with the black and white stuff being like copycat, if that makes sense. And I was probably started around the same time as him, but I've focused very heavily on the color because I know that that's what draws your eye to specifically to that, to what I'm doing. And then my goal is to take those drawings at some point, which I still do actively in my sketchbook. It's just not, for social media, and to basically have the beginning kind of show, and then almost have a show where it kind of just shows the process of how the style evolved,
the evolution,
how everything developed and evolved.
Doodle,
and this is be like, this wall,
the evolution
is
of Evan,
George Washington University dorm room.
Man, I love it. And I see that too with you, man. As much as you said that you have, and how you got down and you did so much in such a small time, right? I mean, just you were focused and you put out so many. Man, you need something.
Yeah, and the reason I have, like I said, was I'm almost holding out. Like right now, I'm sure with the art fair stuff that I've gotten into and the murals and stuff, I'm sure I could do like a gallery show, or get like some sort of representation. And that's typically how galleries work too, is that you basically are one of the like 40 or 50 people that they represent. But then they take a cut of the sale. And so that's the difference between the art fairs, where I'm able to be out there and promote. I can sit in the back and be quiet if I need to be, but then I can also get really like talkative with you at the same time. And so I can promote, I don't want someone else representing what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So you know how like I'm able to explain this to you. Yeah. So like even getting into that like spiritual component of it, which is funny, we started with that. Usually that finds its way in later in the conversation. But that component is something that is so often brought up after 10, 15 minutes in my art fair booth with somebody. It's usually have 100 really solid conversations at an art fair.
And it's also kind of sometimes skipped.
Yes, a lot of times it's skipped. Yeah. And so they bring it up every time.
Mm-hmm.
I never, ever want to sit there and impose my beliefs on any of those people. But you asked.
I was going to ask you, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a movie? Man, I cannot think of the name. I've been sitting here thinking about it ever since you first brought this up about your faith. There's a movie about an Indian mathematician back in the, I'm going to say 30s, 40s, I believe. It was like World War II was going on. Yeah. Ish. And he was an insanely brilliant mathematician, ended up getting into a European math, like top level school. And of course he was the only kind of minority in the school. Right. They talk about that, but he was doing math that nobody like he was doing calculus that nobody like, where is this coming from? And he was, and how he described it to somebody was, he goes, he said this in the movie. He says, God puts it on my tongue.
Yes.
Have you seen that movie?
No, I have not. But
he
I know
said,
you're
God,
talking.
That's what you feel, right?
He said, God puts it on my tongue.
Yeah.
And it comes out of me.
Yeah.
And I just start writing.
Hey, anybody who knows what that movie is,
I forget
put
the name of the movie, man. But
put it in the comments.
Dude, it's hands down one of my most favorite movies.
I'll have to look into that. I'm sure I can ask AI.
We'll look it up right after this.
It wasn't Will Smith movie.
No, it'll probably pop up on your phone because it's listening to us. But it's an insanely good movie, and the guy ended up dying at a very young age.
A true story.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
And they found one of his books that he was doodling in, math, and like 10 years ago. I mean, this dude died in the 40s.
Wow. Yeah.
And they found one of his books not that long ago, and they're using some of that math today in algorithms.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was so advanced. Like, they're like, where is this math coming from? And
it wouldn't have made
he
sense.
was like blowing his professor. Like, they were like, this doesn't make sense. Like, we're not doing this math, you know? So
that's impressive.
Check out that movie, man. Because I'm thinking of that when I hear you talk.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to sound conceited when I'm talking about it.
You don't sound conceited.
But it really does. Like, it's one of those things where I just will start something and then it'll just start flowing in. And as it's going, the things, it doesn't have to be a book I'm listening to. It'll just be like, oh, that's a really cool new way of drawing a mountain. Or that's a really cool new way of showing what sound looked like.
Yeah.
Or something like that, where I don't actually, I'm not going to sit there and do 1,000 sketches of how sound looks.
Yeah.
But as I'm going, then I'll go, oh, I'm going to catalog that. And so what I've done through that, and that's how I was able to get all those drawings out, was you build a catalog. Like I was building like a catalog in my mind. Okay, these are the 5 ways I draw trees. These are the 5 ways I draw a river. 10 ways I draw,
Right.
And all of a sudden you start to go back to that Tolkien thing, this sub-creators. Well, it's like, well, there's not that many, faces humans have. There's not that many body styles humans have.
Right.
There's not that many styles of tree, And so I think that the more you almost get into that flow state, the more you actually understand how like natural life works. And that's specifically, potentially specifically for creators, but the more you flow, the more you understand that life actually is a flow. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, man.
It does.
Yeah. I love it, man. You got an incredible story, man. Incredible passion and obsession, the word you used.
Obsession.
You got an incredible obsession, man, with your work, man. And I'm just glad, man, to be sitting here with you listening because it's inspiring. Truly
and,
is, man.
And then also too, I mean, what you're saying, I think I can probably say that what you're describing is what almost every artist is feeling.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. But what they create is out of that too, you know.
Yeah.
So you're breaking it down in a more way your mind thinks, the way your heart thinks, the way your faith is involved in it. You know what I mean? And that's everybody else that's doing it.
That's why I say I don't want to sound conceited because everybody has this. Yeah. It's I have spent a lot of time thinking of how to articulate it. And spent a lot of time in front of people. So I've had the ability to actually like workshop explaining this, where there's a lot of artists that just put out beautiful work that have a really hard time with social skills or they're very anxious. And so it's hard to get out what you're feeling. And so there were a lot of times in my early first 5 years where I literally would sit there with listening to nothing and I would just be planning, how do I explain some of this stuff to people? And it sounds, but like, because you have to be able to,
because how can you create, they're going to ask.
Yeah. And how can you create like an elevator pitch for what you're creating? Yeah. Instead of this 3-hour long drawn out explanation I'm giving you.
No, man. Well, I mean, listen, you could tell them like, hey, look, there's this podcast I was on.
It's called Enterrupt KC.
Listen to this. Check them out, man. I did all the explaining right there. I'm not gonna do it again. Incredible, man. Incredible, man. Man, this. So you got projects. You've done some projects. You just had the art fair not that long ago. What's your next big project you're going to be working on?
Right now I'm working on one for Catholic Charities.
Okay,
so I'm working on a really big, it's pretty, square footage wise, it's pretty big. This year was really nice because I got to do, like I used to do a lot of medium-sized murals, small to medium-sized murals, and I would have to do a lot. Yeah. And this year it was like a very like medium-sized amount of very big murals, which was very helpful. So, like instead of doing like 11 to 12, it was like 5 or like 6. And so this one, it's
in one of their buildings.
Yeah, it's in their new headquarters for kcmo's in Grandview. Okay. And it's really it's very large. It doesn't look so much like it in the social media photos, but it's very large. And so we're working on that right now.
You need to have somebody take a photo of you in front of it.
That's how
get some
helps.
Scale to it.
The scale helps. Then the next one we're working on is I did a GI doctor's office lobby around this time last year, and we're doing, funny enough, and my dad was a GI doctor. Oh, yeah. But funny enough, we are doing a surgery center, their surgery center.
Oh, nice.
So like the actual place people go in to do the colonoscopies and stuff. Yeah. We're doing like from the lobby, trailing the design into their surgery center. They were like, it makes
some intestines.
Yeah.
That'll keep people calm.
The intestines were in the office, or the lobby. They wanted a just Kansas City theme. Really, what they wanted to do is create like a. And it goes back to that mission kind of oriented thing, is they wanted to create a positive environment for people when they're going in to do.
For sure, man.
Scary. I get it, man.
Hospital creates so much anxiety and stress.
Scribe did an endless amount of mission work in that field. So
that was a great thing about him, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
And I remember listening to one of his talks. He had a very similar approach. I mean, I remember him talking about how he was kind of felt called to become like the scribe of the times or whatever. So did he talk about that, where he felt like he had to tell the story of kind of humanity? I don't want to misquote him, but something
shout
like
out
that.
Scribe.
Then after that, I'm doing a holiday mart for the Strawberry Swing at the Guild in the weekend before Christmas. And then I just have a bunch of like commission stuff lined up, and then a couple of murals lined up after that, and then we're doing the Parade of Hearts project right now as well. So.
You know what, man? All artists that we've talked to, and I don't know what number you are because we talked to a lot. Tattoo artists, everybody. I mean, Josh Forshey was this year, man. Shout out our boy Josh. All of them, from the first one to you. You guys all have one thing in common, and I don't know if this is Kansas City coming out of you guys or if it's just artists in general. Probably not. But man, you guys are so humble.
It's not artists in general.
Well, that's why I said that. I said probably not. You guys are so humble, man. You're so humble, and you're just so like modest. Yeah, and you're
do you think
just
it's
like,
a street? Do you think it's a street art thing? Like it's that we engage.
I don't know.
We engage with people more. I mean, I have no idea.
Well, you know what
I just feel like we engage with people more.
I'm talking about, D-Rod, just real quick. I'm talking about the whole like. I want to give back to the community. Yeah. I'm trying to find a way my passion and community connect. You know, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and what I think that it is, and I could be wrong, but I think that everybody, you know, we're our worst critic.
Yeah.
Everybody's a worst critic, man. Like, you know, everything you see, like, yeah, man, I'm just okay. It's just okay, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody admires so much of other people's art,
right?
That they tend to be like, man, I can't keep up with that guy. That guy's incredible. That guy's good.
Right.
But let alone does that person that, you know, there's a saying that if whatever you think about yourself, there's somebody who thinks 20 times more better, 100 times more better than what you think about yourself. And that's what I feel like the art community is too, you know, because Juan Moya, man, he's an incredible artist. Right. Shout out my boy Moya, man. Yeah. He does tattoos, he does everything, right? And he's always like, I'm just trying to better myself.
Yep.
How much better can you be, brother? You're doing great things, you know. And that I think that's something that, you know, you always look down on yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
I think I call it like the unraveling. But it's you're trying to constantly, like every year I feel like I learn a huge lesson that helps enhance kind of my next year.
Right.
And I think about that lesson over and over and over.
It's
and
a constant process of growth, man.
Yeah. And you don't, like, you also learn how to deal with people better. You learn how to deal with clients better. You learn how, it is a process of bettering yourself. I don't.
That's awesome, man.
I don't disagree.
I love it.
Keep it up, man. Keep it up what you're doing, Evan, man, for real. Like, you're blessing the city, man. You're blessing these businesses, people, young people, man, inspiring them, you know, to just be themselves, man. And your story, man, it's incredible because, I mean, just hearing you talk about, you know, I'm introverted. I don't really like to, I grew up in a big family for nowadays, you know, and you just, that whole story of going to school, finding your own way, you know, letting professors even letting you, you know, find your own story. And then your faith, man, is so powerful, man. And so, man, just keep doing what you're doing, bro. And you know, God's going to take care of the rest. That's what I believe, man. You know, it's going to take care of the rest, man.
I love it.
Incredible, man. Keep that up. Some fun questions, man, before we wrap up, man. Hopefully pull a little bit more out of you.
Yeah, you're good.
Here. You said Tolkien is your favorite writer.
Yep.
Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Which one's your favorite?
Favorite book?
Favorite. One that's become a movie that people are going to say,
I was going to say Silmarillion, but do you know what that is?
Who, what?
The Silmarillion.
No.
It's it's the book that he compiled throughout his whole life that his son ended up having to actually publish. But it's the entire world from creation to the end.
Ah, okay.
And Lord of the Rings is like this tiny little half chapter in the
The
back
ring
end
went
of it.
on.
Yeah. But it's beautiful. It starts with like creation is like this sound and this frequency that then starts forming into like physical shapes, and then there's like these. It's wild. Like then there's these entities that come forming out of the music.
Sure.
And it's like angelic entity. It's very beautifully written.
Wow. I can't wait to see that movie because somebody's going to make that a movie.
It's kind of like and they did not sell the rights to Amazon for that reason because they were scared with that like Rings of Power thing that they were going to take that and cheapen it. The favorite, I really like Two Towers. I think it's like kind of the middle, like the culmination. It's where all the groups start to grow together but separate.
Yeah.
And I really like that. It's like kind of like family too.
Yeah.
Like where the first part is like all happy and lovey and like everyone gets along.
Yeah.
And then you start to see everybody kind of go through their like strifes in the Two Towers, but then you also see them build like sub communities that then actually you almost kind of foresee how they're all going to start like the interplay of how they're all going to kind of add to the and I think Return of the King's really good too. I was going to say that the end is really good, but Two Towers also has the best battle scene.
I didn't think that The Hobbit was going to be so damn good.
Yeah.
After I was like, Lord of the Rings, man, I don't know how you're going to top that. And then The Hobbit came, and you're like,
it was pretty good.
Wow, this is pretty good.
It is pretty good, yeah. So they stretched out the storyline a little longer than the book.
Yeah.
The book is like actually like a kid's book, so it's pretty like I was glad that The Hobbit was stretched out longer because the book is so pithy that like come on, slow down, Tolkien.
Yeah.
Tell me for 5 pages what this tree looked like.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, one other question. What do you like drawing the most?
Nature, but
like specifically trees,
flowers.
Flowers. What would you say the most? Rivers.
Here, this is an interesting take on that. So when you're thinking of it, you're thinking of like the physical landscapes or elements.
Yeah.
Okay,
my mind's simple.
No, it's not simple. Well, it's just how my mind first thought when you asked that question, and now I'm thinking separately. That my favorite thing to draw is you see all these little things, like you said, flowers, and that's what got me thinking. So if you actually look at my canvas work, it's like a lot more detailed and finite and smaller. The outlines are very small. Like everything's, you don't see these things as much. They're not as in your face. They're a little bit more like kind of hidden throughout, and you've seen it in my art for stuff. So that's what I consider to be like the esoteric side of the world, or like the God in the world. Yeah. And so what I like to draw to the most is the stuff that people perceive as fun and playful, but I'm actually planting what I would consider that like unseen side of the world, or like that energy or the synergy that goes into the world that makes things bright and it makes things happy. Yeah. So, Hank can attest this. Before I added the bright like yellows and oranges, things look pretty mundane. So it doesn't actually look that bright and that playful and that fun until you add that like synergy into it. And so my favorite thing to draw is actually once I include that, like I always wait a little bit. I paint the foreground, the background, the buildings, and then I add like the spiritual side of things into it.
Love it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes complete. Yeah, I got a couple of them are completely off the wall, off the grid of art. Okay, we're coming up to holiday season, man. Coming up to holiday season. I'm a food guy, man. I like to eat, love to eat. KC, man, we got so much. Thanksgiving's coming up, man. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food, and what's your favorite barbecue place, and what you getting?
I like mashed potatoes and gravy.
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
White gravy, brown gravy,
turkey gravy,
brown gravy,
turkey gravy,
turkey
right?
gravy.
Turkey gravy.
Everything is pretty good.
Yeah.
But mashed potatoes and gravy.
So real quick, Stillwell barbecue connection, D-Rod.
Were you gonna say Sneed's?
There's a gas station on the corner.
Sneed's.
Is that it?
Yeah,
dude.
I was gonna say Sneed's
I'm
is
sorry,
fire.
I beat you to it.
Nobody knows about Sneed's.
Okay, go ahead and talk about it because I'm gonna say something too.
What? Do you not like it?
No, go ahead.
Finish it. I grew up eating that like before.
So where's it at for everybody?
No, it's like right where they sell fireworks over on. Are you talking about the same place?
Is it in Stillwell?
Yeah.
Yeah, where's
like
it at?
just south of Martin City.
Sneed's.
Like the intersection.
What is that one? Is that 51 Highway or whatever up there? Yeah. And dang,
I don't know, man. So quick story. Sorry, Evan. I got asked
100 and what? You talking about 51st, 51 Highway or whatever? Yeah.
Shout out Sneed's.
Okay, shout out Sneed's. It's a gas station.
Yeah.
Right. So this is literally in 2009 ish. I'm working at a job, and I had to go out with this older guy, and he's like, we had to spend 2 weeks together basically in South Overland Park, and he's like, man, one day he goes, man, I'm gonna take you to this best barbecue you ever had. And I'm like, dude, I grew up on Gates. Yeah. I grew up on Rosedale. I grew up right next to the OG KC.
I grew up
Joe's.
with Rosedale too. I love Rosedale. It's
man.
underrated.
D-Rod likes the beer.
It's underrated.
The beer's good there.
Yeah.
But
you
no,
don't like
listen,
the barbecue.
So he's not a fan. But we go there and I'm like, man, it's like a gas station, right? Yeah. It's like Kansas. This is Oklahoma Joe's at the time. I'm like, it's like Oklahoma Joe's, and he's like, try the ribs, and I'm like, all right. So I get the ribs, D-Rod.
How was it? Tell me.
Fire.
Scale 1 to 10.
Dude,
fire.
Okay, good.
Scale 1 to 10.
You like it?
Oh, it was fire.
I was gonna say that I grew up eating that every like few weeks.
Scale 1 to 10.
It's easy 9.
Yeah,
easy.
Sneed's is the
hard 9.
most underrated barbecue place.
Sneed's.
Nobody even knows about it.
Yeah,
nobody knows about it.
I know about it.
People go there when they're getting fireworks. That's about it.
Sneed's is about to get blown up right now.
Yeah. Shout out Sneed's, man.
I bet you money they don't have social media. So
they don't have, I don't think they have social media.
But it is. I'm glad you said that. I thought you were going to say it was shitty. But I grew up, that like before a family vacation or something, everyone's excited, but you're packing, so you don't have time to like cook a meal or something.
Yeah.
That was Sneed's. Like every time we were about to leave for family vacation.
If anybody goes down there, tell them that Enterrupt KC sent you.
Let's go.
Their brisket and their beans are really good too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's fire, man.
Beans in their brisket. And their fries are good too.
Are they
fries are good
are they the what are they called?
No, they're like just
crispy,
nice. They're crispy, but they're not steak. They're like thin, but they're kind of like overcooked, which is nice.
Right. All right, man. Enterrupt KC, man. I'm bringing this one back, man. Okay, Enterrupt KC, man. We're the first podcast, man. Start off with people, places, and things, man. Let me put that out there too. So
let's go.
Enterrupt KC, man. Give me either one person, one place, or one thing, Evan, that you feel best represents Kansas City, man.
Dude, I'm not trying to throw like a attaboy to him, but like no joke. Like, this dude does everything to make sure that he represents KC in this store.
Let's go.
Like, I don't spend a ton of time downtown other than working on murals and stuff. There's a lot of bars, restaurants I can say, but this dude literally chooses like only local people to work with on everything.
Let's go.
And he buys his beef from like a local beef supplier. He buys everything like as much as he can do local or veteran, or local and veteran, he will do, to the point where like he was like, we could have just gotten photos put up on the wall and stuff, and he was like, no, we're gonna literally take our mattress store and put a mural in it,
Yeah,
so I'm not that. That's why I reached out to him first. Like I was just like, it's gonna be a quiet evening, but I feel like you represent what they represent.
Shout out Hank, man.
Love it.
Shout out KC Mattress City, man. 401 North Rawhide Drive, Olathe, Kansas, man. Come shout out to
the dude knows everybody. Like he literally he was like throwing out names while you guys were setting up. Like I don't know any of those people.
All right, real quick. Back to Enterrupt KC. You're an artist. You draw big things and little things. If you, with what you know about us and after this conversation, if you were going to put Enterrupt KC in a drawing, what would it look like? Just an Enterrupt KC drawing.
That is a really tough question.
I know.
I would do.
I feel like we got to give. I feel like we got to give him a blank paper and a marker.
Man.
No, if it was something I was doing, I would basically take all the themes and all of the elements, because I gather the idea and the understanding of how much you actually care about all the local people and how much you actually you like very seriously are looking at me when you're talking and you're not just checking a box. I think I already said that once, but I would almost take kind of like what I did with him, where I would put you guys in the center and in the drawing, and I would basically just surrounding you kind of draw out all of the people, places, things that we've talked about, the things that the people you've worked with, draw elements that basically emit out as and have you guys kind of as the central focal point. And it's kind of like I don't know if you can't really see it over there, but how I did that with his mattress store, where it kind of just bursts out, and it's like this source of almost like power that then gives voice to all of the like small little elements surrounding that. Yeah,
it's fire.
But that's kind of how, like, if that's like a client question too. So it'd be like, what would you do if you were going to draw a company? One day.
I don't know, Evan.
Hey,
might hire you.
Hey, you know what? We could probably put something like that on some merch.
But I would just create like a central, like, I would have you guys as like a central point, because what you're doing is you're giving a voice, but you are the focal point, and then you're giving a voice to all the things.
Let's
around.
go.
Put something together, man. Maybe we'll do some merch, man.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Is there something you won't draw?
I don't like drawing humans. I do draw them if they need it, but I don't like
like realism.
No, just I just don't like incorporating.
Portraiture.
I don't like incorporating humans in any of my work as much as possible, because I don't like how isolating we get when we are portrayed as something. Right. And so what I love to do.
People get weird about that.
So weird that every time somebody asks me to do a human in a mural, I say, you're giving me every specific type of human. Like, I don't, you're going to tell me every detail of the human, because I'm going to have, none of this is coming back on me as being misrepresenting, you know what I mean, or doing not including everybody,
right.
And so I don't like doing humans. I really love doing creatures though, because everybody, there could be a little like blue creature with one eye, and somebody will come into my art fair booth and be like, "That's Bobby, that's Jimmy." You'll be like, "Okay, all right." And so I love how adaptable and how personable but also vague creatures are versus characters. You probably saw some of the creatures in my art fair booth.
I did, man.
Yeah, I love doing creatures. Very much don't enjoy doing humans.
Yeah. I get that.
And humans are a part of nature. It's just
for sure.
It's just it's
the ugly nature.
It's the ugly element. It's the
ugly nature.
It's the way that people feel excluded or start to isolate when
for sure.
you have to make the decision. So
love that, man. Well, listen, Evan, man, keep up what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, thank you,
Keep being
guys.
you, man. Keep being humble. It doesn't sound conceited at all coming out of your mouth, man.
Not at all.
Love your art, man. Thank you for coordinating this with us. Thank you, Hank. Thank you, KC Mattress City.
Yeah.
Just keep being you, bro, and the sky's the limit, man. Yeah. You're going places, bro.
No doubt. If anybody, I'm sorry,
no, you're good.
If anybody wants to check out Evan's art, man, again, Doodle Dood art, man, IG, doodledood.com. On the website.
Yep.
He has prints for sale. He has merch.
Yep. All of the mural, everything is up to date. I have one mural to add on there, and
let's go.
Here we go, man. Yeah. Peep them out, man.
Is there any last thing you'd like to share before we get out of here?
There is not. That's where my quiet side comes back.
Come on, man.
I love it, man.
How about one of these, man?
Yeah,
one last salute to you, man.
Appreciate Kansas City,
Love that, man. Love that.
Yeah.
With that, everybody, Enterrupt KC, JL.
Your boy, D-Rod.
Yep.
Like, follow, share, subscribe, guys. We are out here. Come check out our boy, Evan Brown. Doodle Dood Art.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Deuces.